Welcome to the 8th episode of FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I am Eric Richardson.
We got a special surprise for the end of the show, and we'll go ahead and blow that. But we got some Jeppson's Malort.
Yeah, try it if you haven't yet. It's fun.
Absolutely, it's an enjoyable experience.
One you won't forget.
Yes, a lot to talk about. Formula One. I did not wake up for it this week, but it looks like this is going to be the last French Grand Prix for a while. Maybe. I mean, at least for a year or more.
Yeah, I only got in halfway through that race and watched, I think, the last 25 laps. I didn't catch too much of it this week.
It's just Sunday morning on the West Coast. A lot of them start at like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 a.m. It's hard. I won't lie. It's hard to motivate myself to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch Max Verstappen win every week or almost every week. I won't. But hey, off to Hungary. Ferrari had a tough week.
Let's see if Ferrari has better luck. Leclerc crashes out. Questionable pit strategy from Sainz.
It's always one of the two of them. It seems like if one's having a good run, the other one, Sainz's car catches on fire. This week it was Charles Leclerc, my favorite name in the world to say right now, just eating it. And I mean, you could see afterwards the cameras followed him for a while, and you could see he was just so mad at himself over that. Even though I didn't watch it, I mean, that was what they focused on, is he was just so upset after that. But hey,
yeah. So Hungary next week.
Other note, this is the first time all season that both Mercedes end up on the podium.
Yes, they had a good day.
So it's been a rough year for them. It's just, they had so much dominance, and then it just can't quite figure it out this year. But it seems like I
wonder how much is the new cars that came out this year too, and just trying to figure them out.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. But I have this hunch that it'll probably be Lewis Hamilton. They just keep getting closer and closer every week, that I think one of them will win, and my prediction is probably Lewis Hamilton.
I can see that. Russell's been very consistent though.
He has.
It'll be fun to see.
He the only reason his top 5 streak ended is because he got out of his car
to help a fellow racer.
Yeah, but otherwise he probably would have finished top 5 there. There was enough time to catch up. So moving on to NASCAR.
Well, before we move on, interesting news coming today.
Oh yeah, I brought it up and then I forgot to mention it.
Yeah, Sebastian Vettel announcing retirement.
I mean, he had some really dominant runs. What was it? 2010 to 2013, I think it was.
Yeah, he was always up there.
Yeah, and I think he won those. I want to say it was 4 years in a row he won with Red Bull. I mean, he was just top of his game for a really long time, and it's unfortunate that this year hasn't gone great for him. But
still, team change, and here you go.
He's a legend. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He's a legend of the sport. He will be missed.
And great driver.
And good ambassador for the sport too. He's been very vocal with a lot of things that may have been unpopular to say, but probably a lot of them needed to be said. But seems like a good dude.
Yep,
seems like a good dude. I guess congratulations on the retirement.
We'll see if he finds a role in Formula One somewhere, or if he just kind of steps away from racing.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. NASCAR though.
Wow, so much to unpack there.
Wow. Before we get into the drama involving the race, I mean, there's in-race drama, there's post-race drama. Just isn't me. It just seemed like Pocono would be just a fun race experience to go to. Like, it's just, you're out in the mountains of Pennsylvania. There's literally nothing else around other than just trees.
It just looks like reminds me of Talladega. There's the track,
Yeah, it's just
That's
you're in
about it.
the woods and the mountains of Pennsylvania, of eastern Pennsylvania. It looks like that would be something to go do. That would be a really fun weekend.
Yeah, it would be. And it's such a unique track, a
Mm.
triangle of all shapes.
What
And
turn
all three
for
turns are
famous?
different.
Yeah, what turn for painted on? Well, your
And you
turn.
had what Jeff Burton keep talking about turns 3 and 4. So fun race.
It was, and Hamlin and Ross Chastain had their run in. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it wasn't dirty. I mean, you expect when the two of them were going to get together, Hamlin would send them packing.
Yeah, maybe ran
But
a half line up and
yeah,
really made that outside line
he made it uncomfortable for him for
very
sure.
small.
I wouldn't say it was a dirty move or a deliberate move, but yeah, that was a veteran move, I guess, is the
Yeah,
best way to
he
put it.
raced him hard and took away space.
And unfortunately,
Unfortunate though for Kevin Harvick.
yeah, he happened to
He
just
ended
get
up
caught
getting
up in
caught
that.
up in that.
It's
That's
bummer
unfortunate.
for
He had a
him.
good run going.
Bummer for
He
him.
was lurking. And how about Ty Gibbs filling in for Kurt Busch, getting
Yeah,
his NASCAR debut?
and he'll looks like he'll get another shot this week, because it looks like, I think I read today, Kurt Busch will be has to sit out another week. Which you remember years back, probably not that long ago, that Dale Jr. missed a pretty decent chunk of time because he was having concussion problems.
Yeah, I'd
And
much rather see Kurt get healthy here, and he's still got a few weeks before the playoffs start. So
yeah,
hopefully
and
he gets better here
yeah,
soon.
and I mean, you don't want he's in the twilight of his career. I don't think we're saying anything outrageous there. I mean, he's got to be in early 40s now by now.
Yeah, I think at best 38, 39, but I think he's early 40s.
Because Kyle Busch is our age. His younger brother's our age. Like literally, almost like we're all like born roughly around the same time. So, and Kurt's a few years older. I just don't know how much older, but yeah, hopefully, best wishes to him. Hopefully he gets better soon, can safely get back in the car.
Yeah, we'll see how Ty does in a road course here. He had a great run, what, 15th or something? With
You know
just
what?
a goal to go out and
I,
run.
I don't even know anymore because of all the shifting that happened
Yeah, it's
post
all moved
race.
around now.
Yeah,
So
so
3 cars get DQ'd this weekend or this past weekend.
did they DQ the
The
McDowell car, or they just penalize him?
maybe it was just penalized. I know it was a heavy
Oof.
the $100,000 fine to crew chief, 100 points, 100
I mean, it's
manufacturer points.
yeah,
It
that was a
was
harsh
the
fine.
book.
And I've seen numerous people post about this. I mean, McDowell is not, Front Row Motorsports is not a big team. $100,000 fine might cause them to go belly up. I mean, it's that's brutal for them. If this was Hendrick, if this was Gibbs or one of the other big teams, $100,000, whatever. But
Yeah,
for a
Team
small team like that,
Gibbs.
yeah, for a team like that, that's brutal. On the other hand, Team Gibbs, they've got their own issues to worry about, as we
Yeah,
learned.
they finished 1-2, and then we found out a few hours later that
Not anymore.
hold on there.
35 and 36. And
So
I think
basically some packing tape from what I gathered.
yeah, it was a little piece of packing tape, but it was covering holes. I mean, NASCAR's been fairly vague about this. I mean, usually I would think they'd have some kind of like, okay, here's the violation, here's what they did, and have some kind of animation and showing, okay, by them covering, and I don't know if this is actually what's going to end up happening. This is pure speculation here, but you show an animation of the car, you have your opening, you show the tape covering, and you show the airflow and how it's impacted, and you get somebody to come on and say, well, this could shave off X, hundredths of a second per lap in savings and make the car that much faster and give them an unfair advantage. Based on the severity, you have to assume it would be something like that. But as far as I know, we've heard absolutely nothing other than there was a piece of tape on the front fascia of the car that was covering some holes.
It'll be fun to hear the pre-race shows and stuff this week leading into the weekend to see what they have to say.
So change of pace here, since everybody's going to the same place this weekend. Let's update IndyCar, and then we can, back to back. We've got NASCAR, IndyCar, Indianapolis, but IndyCar, Iowa, back to back days. A lot of fun. The Iowa race looked like it was a lot of fun. It looked pretty packed. Hy-Vee, it's done a lot for IndyCar. I mentioned that last week. And it sounds like they were pretty happy with how the event turned out. I don't think the TV ratings were all that great, which shouldn't surprise anyone.
Yeah, I watched the better part of both races. It was some really good racing. They were both a lot of fun to watch.
On Saturday, Jimmie Johnson, thinking he's still driving a stock car with that outside line, making his own line and just causing the booth to just absolutely cringe with some of the moves he's making. And he got through. It was just,
he did spin once.
He did, yeah, but that was like right away. He bounced
that was
back
early and ended up fighting back, got off sequence and lucky caution, and he was able to hang out there and ended up 11th.
First day, and didn't he finish 5th on Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday he had a career best 5th place finish, and they were talking. He was racing the points leader Marcus Ericsson really hard, and they're like, "Why is he doing that?" The team should be like, "No, let him get points." They let him run, and he made that outside work.
Yeah, he did.
It was an impressive drive.
They were joking around on Sunday that they said that Jimmie got finished, left the track, and went to bed, while the other drivers were sitting there with their iPads just watching how Jimmie was driving that outside line that he was making up. And I didn't watch the Sunday race that close. Did any of the other drivers try to mimic that behavior on Sunday?
I think they still stayed fairly conservative. I think some were moving up into the outside and making some things happen, but not to the extent that Johnson just stayed there.
It was a courageous to say the least.
Yeah, either say he's crazy or genius, but great run on Sunday for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Congrats to that. And one big note, Joseph Newgarden. I think you were going to mention him.
He won Saturday. Sunday, his car broke. He wrecked. And then after the race, he, I guess, was walking out of his hauler and fainted, basically.
Yeah, ended up hitting his head, opened up a wound. He got airlifted to hospital in Des Moines. But good news, he is in Indianapolis. He is slated for practice tomorrow or later today somewhere. But he does need to be cleared.
So yeah,
we'll see.
And did you see Kyle Larson volunteered to fill in for him this weekend?
Hey, that's a great point. There could be some unique things possible because NASCAR and IndyCar are at the same track.
I really like this weekend. I mean, it's kind of a bummer they're not on the, at least the NASCARs aren't on the oval. But
I'm interested to see how they handle the road course.
Yeah. And they had that. Yeah, it was some drama last year with the track. And so we've got, what is it? Xfinity and IndyCar Saturday, Cup Series Sunday. Is that correct?
I believe so. I know IndyCar Saturday, Cup Sunday.
Yeah, I think Xfinity
should be Saturday.
Yeah, I think Xfinity runs before, if I remember correctly. But and then Friday night, actually, the trucks are going to be just down the road at IRP. So truck news. We just
had an experience there.
Yeah, we just had an experience there, but we don't typically talk trucks. But Camping World has announced they are no longer sponsoring the series after this year, which is an interesting move. So a lot of people are upset with the truck series. I can see why.
Yeah, I haven't followed too much.
It seems like, and then I love reading Twitter just to hear all the just thoughts, whether there's merit or not. But one of the first things I saw was that the truck series has turned into a bunch of entitled kids who will wreck half the field just to get a win, where you had in the 90s, you had Ron Hornaday and Jack Sprague and some of those other drivers. And it is a different series than it was 20 years ago. But then again, you could argue so is the Cup Series. It's not.
Yeah, and
not
you
the
know, if
same
you look
either.
at the ages of some of those trucks that are running, they're not your 24 to 28-year-olds. They're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Just a
Yeah.
completely different mentality.
Yeah. And then Todd Bodine,
Yeah.
ran his final race. I'm just like, I didn't realize he was still racing. And I saw him getting out of his car and giving everybody a hug when he was done. And I'm like, who is that guy? He looks familiar. And I'm like, that's Todd Bodine.
Yeah, we watched him racing when we were in high school.
Yeah, I was just like, this guy's been around forever. But I how old is he?
He's got to be 50 at least.
Todd Bodine, we're looking this up. 58.
Yeah.
58.
Man. Good for him. Yeah, the racing series, they've changed. It's not what it used to be. Younger drivers, some are staying around a lot longer.
They don't get as much time in the trucks as they probably should. And like you look at, just throwing a name out here, like Hallie Deegan, for example, she has not had a great season in the truck, but people who defend her are saying, well, she doesn't get a lot of time. There's not a lot of practice. You don't get a lot of time in the trucks. You don't get a lot of test sessions. And its question is, shouldn't they be? You would think this is a high level series under the NASCAR banner that's, a lot of times at the same weekend as your Cup Series. Wouldn't you think they would, do a little bit more with driver development, especially when you've got now 17, 18, 19-year-old kids? Like, it's not, Ron Hornaday, who's probably was in his 40s when he was done racing trucks, probably.
Yeah, he was around a long time and just solid. But, it kind of goes into that question, too, that we talked with IndyCar last week about broadcasting on Peacock. NASCAR is kind of in the same way. They're not developing, and I think they're losing a lot of viewers as well.
They're having kind of an identity crisis. And we need to probably take another episode to discuss this more in depth, but
we'll do that next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. But I mean, in summary, they're trying, they have this stereotype that it's this good old boy southeastern US, because for the longest time that's where they raced. They were in Virginia, they were in the Carolinas, they'd go down to Daytona, and that was it. And then it started branching out and becoming a more nationwide sport.
Yep.
And they're trying to bring everybody in, but you hear people that are watching Formula One like, I'm not watching that redneck racing, and it's not. I mean, there are redneck people who still follow NASCAR. A lot of the drivers kind of fit that bill, but they're trying to expand. At the same time, they're alienating that southeastern crowd, and they're just trying to grow. I mean, with this Chicago street race, they took Road America off of the schedule, and a lot of the fans were really upset about that, and I don't blame them. But
yeah, that'll be a fun one to dig into more next week.
Yeah, we'll dig into that next time. But Wednesday Night Dash, we have finished our 7th race of the season. Next week is our finale in Phoenix, but we went to Bristol this week. It was not as drama filled as I expected it to be. It was still good. I think there was a lot of good racing in there. There was some couple incidents in there as expected.
I got spun twice.
Yeah, and
kind of took me out of contention there. Hey, congrats to Colton Gardner.
Yeah,
oh man, he in the race.
Great run. He led probably 75% of the laps, just about. And yeah, he had a great run. Kaden was second. He just continues on his dominant streak, and Justin Neves finished third.
Yeah, just a steady, quiet driver. And Justin.
Yeah, Justin, and Yeah, he was out there and he's cruising. He had a couple of bumps. He mentioned that he bumped into some people, but yeah, he just kind of quietly goes among his business, and he just, you look through and he's been on the podium quite a few times this season, and he's been doing really, really well.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how we go into next week. Congrats to Kaden
Yes,
McAreavy. He's
yeah,
sealed up the championship.
he is the season 3 champion, but second,
Um,
third up for
yeah,
grabs.
second I think might hold, but we got Zach Bowles at 88 points.
Yep.
But then we got
75.
Colton 75, Justin at 71, or one at 58. I'm at 55. Mark Vickers at 54.
I mean,
we have
2 and
a
3
winner.
things could change depending on who
If somebody
finishes.
wins, takes the pole, leads the most laps, they can grab 28 points.
And you look at Colton, who joined us last season in the final race, and he gave Chad Winstead quite a run. I mean, I think he finished only 3 seconds back of him, and Chad was dominant from beginning to end, and Colton gave him a good run. I think Colton's going to have a, short of getting caught up in any incidents, I think Colton is going to have another strong run this week. And I think could potentially shake up that top 3.
Yeah, a couple have Colton and Justin probably have a shot at maybe taking second. But there's still 5 drivers there for that third spot.
Yeah, it's you're gonna need a top 2 probably, and one of the couple of the drivers to have bad finishes. But I want to go back to Bristol here real quick. I had probably my worst drive of the season. I just could not get any speed. I was tearing up my tires, and I had to be conservative because I tore up my tires so quickly. I was awful. But sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good. I avoided the big wrecks. And I somehow walked out of there in 6th place, and I still don't know how that happened. But
yeah, I mean, solid run. I had the speed, and I was thinking I was maybe going to fight for a top 3 there, but I came off the turn, brushed the wall, and ended up getting hit from behind, and I spun. I had to pit with the meatball, so I lost a couple laps. And then after the restart, same thing. I had a truck bounce off the wall, bumped into me, and ended up spinning out again.
I brushed the wall twice. Not terrible, but I mean, you could see in the photo I posted on Instagram last night, the left side of my truck was pretty scratched up. So, but Bristol, if you come out of there with a clean vehicle, you didn't run on the track. That's right.
Yeah, if your truck was clean, you probably didn't run hard enough.
Or your name is Colton Gardner. Somehow he managed to go 0 incident count at Bristol and have a strong run. So, again, congratulations to Colton. Season finale comes up. We'll be publishing the season 4 ARCA schedule this weekend to the league for discussion, and we'll announce the final schedule next week, targeting a start after Labor Day, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we'll have some recruiting races coming up too. So hopefully some people will come out and join us and check us out, see what we're about.
Yep, we're gonna have 4 recruiting races. We're gonna jump right into them after next week, during our normal Wednesday night time slot. Completely optional. But if you want to come in and race with us, please do. We'd love to have you. We had some really good recruiting races for the trucks. We had, I think, like 18 or 19 drivers for the one race.
Let's hope we don't have trolls this time.
Yeah, let's that was, I mean, we had 3 recruiting races and one of them had trolls. So I guess 1 out of 3 is not bad.
Yeah, we'll take that.
So we got their names. We know who they are now.
Indeed, we do.
On that note, I think it's time. Oh yeah. I was about to say, let's wrap this up. No, we can't wrap up yet.
Not quite yet. We got the special Malort here with our shout out to Indy for the weekend.
Yes, our Indianapolis or Indy 500 milk jug, shot glass filled with Malort. Oh dear.
All right. Here we go. Cheers
to season 3.
So I'm not choking because of the Malort.
No,
It started going down my windpipe.
That's a good cleanse for your lungs right there.
So that's the look of a shot that goes down your windpipe. Don't let that be the taste of what you think it might be.
Anyone who watched this is gonna see what I did. I did not get the whole shot in one trip. I ended up getting about 2/3 of it and having to get the final third on a second swig.
I got the full one, and that's why it went down the windpipe. Oh, that's fun.
Jeppson's Malort. And their bourbon is fantastic. Yeah, Jeppson's bourbon's fantastic.
I still got to try the bourbon. Haven't been able to do that yet.
Yeah, they don't. It's not distributed. There's a couple places here you can get it in Arizona, but I have to make my way up to Mesa and pick up another bottle because I'm done with my first one. Yeah,
Next time I'm in Central Indiana, I'll have to pick one up.
Head to your local Total Wine.
Yep. Well,
on that note,
yeah.
Now that somebody told me that like when they tried Malort, that it tastes like the smell of pine cones. What?
The taste doesn't bother me. It's the feeling of jet fuel going down through my stomach is what I feel.
And fun fact about
I'm the weird one. I like the taste. It's not bad.
The taste is fine. The aftertaste really hits hard, and it really hits me hard. And I shared this photo the other day on my social media, but these wedding photos, the bride and groom, instead of doing a champagne toast, they did a shot of Malort. And I guess the bride had never done one before, and the photographer just got this perfect photo of her with making her Malort face, and she's just like, it's so funny. But
it'd be fun to see whose idea that was, and if it was his.
It was his, because in their photo,
we'll see how long the marriage lasts on that one.
Yeah, well, and there's a wedding photo of the two of them, and in their pose, she's holding a bottle of champagne and he's holding the bottle of Malort. So we salute you, sir.
Great call.
Oh man.
Congrats to you too.
Yes, congrats to the married couple. And to think, why didn't I think of this? I should have just bought bottles of Malort instead of champagne. That would have been hilarious.
Party favors.
Hey, anyone getting married soon? Invite me and I'll bring the Malort. On that note,
bring the wedding crashers.
Yeah, I haven't been to a wedding in a long time, but completely off topic. On that note, we're gonna wrap this up. Check out the season finale, Wednesday Night Dash next Wednesday, Phoenix Raceway, my now home track. Should be interesting. Dogleg always is a lot of fun.
Will anybody take the shortcut?
I just instinctively take the shortcut. I don't know if it helps me or not, but it's there. I take it.
I haven't done enough yet. I'm staying on track.
I haven't tried it in a truck yet, so it might be it's a little bumpy on re-entry.
Should I take it back? I did one lap earlier today trying it. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yep. So tune in Wednesday Night Dash. Eric has the call on our channel next week. Broadcast will be at 10:15 on Stadium Scene TV, at Stadium_Scene on Instagram, at Stadium Scene on Twitter, or StadiumScene.tv for the links to those channels. So be sure to check that out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and listening to us again at FR Racing Online for all the social media and streaming channels, frracingonline.com. Check out our merchandise store. We got some cool stuff in there. And we'll see you next week as we recap the finale.
Yeah, thank you all. Take care.